Fantastic. Thank you, Elizabeth. I think that was an excellent summary. For those who couldn't attend, we hope that sort of brings you up to speed on what was presented and discussed yesterday. So just a reminder that today we've got 3 separate sessions. Our first session will be on data generation. Our second session will be on enabling factors, and then we'll have the partner updates as our third and final session for the annual meeting. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Dr. Amanda Murphy to facilitate the session on data generation. Over to you, Amanda.
Thanks, Tessa, and good morning, everybody. I'm very excited to see you all here today for another exciting PacMOSSI annual meeting session. So this morning, you're going to have to listen to my voice for the next hour and a half, roughly. I'll be facilitating the first 2 sessions, which are interrelated. The first session's quite quick, only 2 speakers, starting off with Dr. Nick Pocquet from the Pasteur Institute in Noumea, New Caledonia, and then following Dr. Adam Craig from UQ, who's going to update on some of the what we've done on operational research and citizen science and looking forward as well. And just to mention briefly for those who weren't here yesterday that the surveillance work, the baseline surveillance surveys that we're planning as part of this next phase of funding is a new activity that has been designed in response to feedback that we received from the first sort of phase of PacMOSSI, where a lot of the Pacific countries told us that they just don't have baseline mosquito data to work with and to ask questions from and to improve upon. And so we're really excited to roll out that new activity later in the year. And also to build upon all the learnings from the operational research and citizen science that we have built from the first few years. So without further ado, I will let Nicholas and Adam tell you a little bit more. Starting off with Nicholas, take it away when you're ready.
Yeah. You hear me? It's good? Yes, thank you.
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. I just present really briefly the notion of baseline surveillance because in next few months we will work with Institut Pasteur and PacMOSSI program on a protocol to help make this kind of baseline surveillance. And Amanda certainly present you the possibility to obtain support of PacMOSSI for this kind of survey. Just a brief presentation of the Institute. Institut Pasteur of New Caledonia, it's a research institute with some activity around medical entomology and arbovirology, but also on bacteriology, leptospirosis, and epidemiology. In the medical entomology unit, we work on risk assessment of vector-borne diseases and vector control and assessment of impact of this control. We have also expertise. We also provide expertise regarding international health regulation in New Caledonia in the surveillance of point of entry, regarding also public health support, for example, the support regarding the WMP implementation in New Caledonia, and we participate to Pacific Vector Network. And we have also training activity. In 2023, we have led an entomological course in New Caledonia. We work with the HPC support for some training in Wallis and Futuna, and now we are including PacMOSSI program also. At the end of this year, we'll be moved to new facility in New Caledonia in the campus of University of New Caledonia, only dedicated to medical entomology and arbovirology. Next, please. Yes. Why it's important to make baseline surveillance? It depends on your goal, of course, but you can achieve 3 different goals with baseline surveillance. The first one is 25 vector presence, different species of vector present on one territory. You can have Aedes aegypti, Aedes albopictus, or polynesiensis. These three species was largely distributed at the Pacific Coast, but you can also have other species morphologically close to Aedes polynesiensis, but also vector of dengue, for example. This kind of survey can also guide control and communication action. For example, the identification of K larva habitats can help to find what is the most important type of breeding site, the location of breeding site, quantity of breeding site of each type, and if you have staff for that, you can also have an idea of productivity of each breeding site. And another interesting point is that when you have a baseline surveillance, you can have an idea of the effectiveness of different control measures. For example, large cleanup campaign can be, the effectiveness of large cleanup campaign can be assessed with this kind of survey, and also some public health communication and mobilization campaign. Next, please. Yes, for make this kind of survey, you can use two different tools. Adult trapping, it's something sometimes interesting, but the problem of this trap, it depends of species you have, but it's not necessarily really attractive for all species, and specimen can be scratched by the trap. But you can also make larval survey and identify larvae, and you have with this kind of survey information regarding K-larval habitats. Next, please. I will give you a free example of a baseline survey and the interest of that. The first one, it's in Wallis Island. I see that Clément is present. And for example, in 2017, Aedes aegypti, it's only present in Aake, in the main city of Wallis Island. But in 2021, we have seen increase of an extension of the area of distribution of Aedes aegypti. And this information, it's important because Aedes aegypti and Aedes polynesiensis don't have the same behavior. And when you try to control it, it's not necessarily the same area you target in terms of resting area, for example. Next, please. You can also identify K-larval habitats per species. And for example, in Wallis also, you can see that Aedes aegypti, it's mainly found in artificial breeding site. In 97% of breeding sites of this species, it's artificial. And if you target only tires and drum, you can target 66% of breeding site of this species. For Aedes polynesiensis, it's relatively different. You have more different larval habitats. In this study, we do not have target crab hole because it's more difficult, but it's an important breeding site for this species. But you can see that we found also this species on artificial habitats. Next, please. And just the last example, it's in Numea. At the beginning of 20,000, the unit of medical entomology of Institut Pasteur are beginning a survey of positive container in different hours in the Numea. And this information was used by health authority to target some breeding sites, in particular, subplot, cutting for plants, and barrel. And this different action have led to a reduction, lead to a reduction of breeding site on the city. And we can see also some particular activities regarding, for example, a major communication campaign in 2009 linked to the large outbreak on large outbreak of dengue in New Caledonia. Yes, next please. Yes, thank you. It's just a small overview of this, and we're beginning to work on that with PacMOSSI just the next week. Thank you so much.
Merci, Nicolas. That was a really nice overview with some great examples from your field work, showing the importance of doing baseline surveillance and the information that can generate in terms of control. Super important to link the two. So we might save the questions to the end and move on to Adam. There's a couple of people putting some questions in the chat for you there, Nicolas, so you can read those and think about your replies. Thank you so much. We'll now move to Dr.